Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. I hope you're doing well during this period, and today I'm going to share with you guys unreleased footage of my visit to Dennis Wong's house. Now if you don't know who Dennis Wong is, then I am going to bet you are not an aquascaper. So Dennis Wong is someone I regard as one of the most knowledgeable aquatic plant growers in the world. And I am lucky to be in the same country as him because I get to tap on his expertise. He's also a great aquascaper, and he runs his website, the 2-hour Enquiries that many beginners would have read when they first entered the hobby. The footage I'm going to show you is me trying to get him to explain his thought process behind the scape you are about to see. So just a warning, this is not going to be a fast cut video. Be prepared to sit back, relax, and enjoy. So how did you go about deciding where you put the different colors? Is there does it have to be a gradient, or is it or do you just go by feel and where does it go?
No, actually I think for most other things, the placement is quite determined by scale. So for example, if the plant has very large leaf, you cannot put it in a position where it's supposed to look like it's far away in the background.
Right.
Yeah, so the center third, you almost would not, where the sense of scale is supposed to stretch towards the back of the tank, you cannot use large leaf plants. That's why everything in the center third is smaller leaf, even the ones to the front. But the side you can use slightly larger. But that is because in this particular scape, the play on the sense of scale is one of the main devices.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and I noticed that everything, all the colors that you have, or most of the colors that you have on the left, you sort of mirror it on the right. Is it correct?
Yeah, and partially because for competition they like a bit more balance. Personally, I don't care much for it, but it makes for a bit more balance, a bit more harmonious.
So, what are some of the plants in here?
You want me to name the exact plants?
Yeah, just name those that maybe are a bit more unique, and
Okay.
what makes them unique and why you chose them.
Okay, so the background is Rotala hera. It's actually a variant of Rotala rotandifolia, and it's nice as a background stem because it is easily trimmed into bushes like you see here. It's easy to grow. It turns redder under low nitrates. So actually in tanks where there is a lack of dosing, it's actually redder. So in this tank, it's more orange than red, but it's okay because then they form contrast with the redder plants I have in front. This is Laurigia red. It's one of the easiest to grow red plants, and again, it can be trimmed into a relatively bushy form. So for this scape, I wanted contours of plants on both sides. So the plants were chosen based on how easily they are to be trimmed into bushes. The green bush is Hemianthus glomeratus. In Singapore, they'll call it HM, which is actually the old name. In US, they'll call it pearlweed, and it's one of the, again, easiest plants to grow that is easily trimmed into bushes. In fact, both Rotala rotandifolia and the pearlweed, they all grow in low-tech tanks without injected CO2, but they might not reach this density.
Right.
Yeah. Then these are Buset philandra. So these are, I would say, newer to the aquarium trade. That's why they can still cost quite a bit. Come in different colors and shapes. They can be planted on the rock. So in areas without substrate, in tanks without substrate, they are used quite commonly. This is Hydrocotta tripartita. Again, easy plant to trim into a bush form, and they need not be planted. So they can be stuffed on rocks, and they still grow quite well.
Right. Okay.
Then the plant on substrate is Monte Carlo. It grows quite easily, both on rocks, over soil. Also easy to grow. Almost everything in this tank is easy to grow.
Right. Okay. And so, what is the maintenance like? Like, for example, you said that a lot of this you chose the plants that you can actually trim for the contours.
Yeah.
So how often is that trimming, and what other maintenance do you have to do?
I think the trimming will be depending on how deep a trim you do for that particular cycle. I'll say that the trimming is weekly to every 2 to 3 weeks, depending on how deeply you trim. Then over the very long horizon, in every 3 to 6 month window, you may need to replug if the bottoms get deteriorate. Yeah, so there's a certain cycle to that as well. Once yeah, after planting, because this tank is run in a slow growth mode, that means I dose less nutrients, things grow with less speed. It's actually quite low maintenance. That tank will actually take more trimming and replanting work because there's more light used there, more nutrients, plants grow faster.
Okay.
Yeah. So this one is I'll do a weekly water change, then I'll cut the plants and I'll siphon some of the detritus from the bottom.
Right.
And because the hardscape is not fully done yet, so I'm still thinking whether there are things that I need to move in a big way.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was your inspiration for this tank? How did you come up with this idea?
For this particular one, I basically attained a few nice rock pieces that I wanted to display. And they are tilted at an angle to give a bit more movement and dynamism, and also cast shadows in certain area to contrast with like the lighted path. I think my main idea for this tank was that I wanted to show off some of the nice bunching stem plants. It's not a very complicated layout. I'll say that this is quite a standard. It's not, you won't call it awagumi, but it's standard nature style rockscape, kind of, with a little bit of diorama elements because of the path and perspective.
Right. And what about the mood? So what kind of mood did you try and create with this?
I wanted some vibrancy from the red plants, so a bit like autumn, in regions that there's a change of colors. I think my tanks almost always have a slight warm feel because I'm a fan of growing colored plants.
And so just roughly describe the tank to me. What is it running? Soil, dimensions also, and how long has it been running?
Okay. This tank is a 4 feet tank, so it's 120 cm by 45 by 45, standard 120p. The rock is Ceru rock. It's glued together using super glue and cigarette filters. The substrate is an exotic mix, so I tend to use more exotic mixes for my substrate. So there's raw soil inside, there's aqua soil, there are clay chips. This you can see from the back later, topped by cosmetic sand. So the substrate mix is a bit more exotic. The water is slightly hard because the Ceru rock leaches carbonates into the water. So the KH is about 8 to 9. So you cannot keep the most saltwater species in this tank. But hot water species like Daunoi do well. The light is a custom BML fixture. So this one you cannot buy on the open market. But
where did you get it custom made?
US. And the company no longer exists. They sell lights to the horticulture market now. They don't do aquarium lights anymore. Then I'm using an Aquael filter. And I like the Aquael filter because it has a pre-filter chamber that you can remove without dismantling the filter itself. So that is very useful for planted tanks because planted tanks produce a lot of debris. Then for the regulator, I'm using CO2 Art. Yeah, so this is the CO2 Art Elite, which is a very good regulator actually. And it is able to inject at a high stable injection rate for fine membrane CO2 diffusers. I'm using the Quamvi CO2 atomizer for this tank. Yeah.
Right.
Then I'm dosing my own brand of fertilizer daily. Other than that, I would say, surprisingly low maintenance, even though it looks complicated on the onset.
Right.
Yeah. So this is also a case where I guess the layout looks complicated, but actually 80% of the plants here are easy. The only difficult species are the Rotala florida, which requires quite a bit of light. So this is the expensive one that if you buy in Singapore, it's like $15 a stem. And Rotala Mini Macandra type 4. So this one tends to be a bit pickier about nutrients and CO2 and whatnot. But the rest of the plants are like beginner level plants.
And what fish do you intend to put inside?
This layout will probably suit small shoaling fish to match the horizon line at the back. But I have not decided for sure yet. So if I'm going to use it for competition, I would buy fish that complements the competition requirements. If I was not going to use this tank for competition, I'll do the funny fish that I enjoy myself. So I'll buy like pygmy cories and furcata, rainbow fish.
And I noticed there's some snails inside. Is
Yes.
that intentionally added, or is that like it came with plants?
It came with the plants, but do not think that snails in a planted tank for this specifically this kind of pest snails or pond snails, I think that they're actually helpful in breaking down the detritus in the tank. As long as they don't get overpopulated because you overfeed them, I think they actually provide a useful function. So I do not bother removing them.
Does it affect in terms of aquascape though? Like if you go competition?
I think that if you do competitions, you should not have large visible snails. I think that the small ones are ignored because at the end of the day, the competition photos, they are not viewed in such high detail format. So
Right.
for competition, it is really the overall layout and the distance that matters rather than the details.
Right.
In fact, I'll go so far as to say that for the majority of competitions, you can get by with even poor plant quality. The judges can't tell because most of them are not so plant centric.
Correct.
Yeah, they are truly aesthetic layout centric people.
Right. So the layout is the most
It's
important.
the yeah.
Okay.